just want to talk to you guys. It's very interesting with this election, how it almost pulled me out of my 5D, but then I was like, nah, we're not doing that. And it really is different. You know, right now I'm really concerned with just helping people see what the 5D is. And a lot of the times I just relate it to, you know, my reactions at the stage that I am. You know, when you lack fear and you have total trust in your spirit guide, your spirit team, and you have total trust in, you know, God, right? Like, and spirit and your ancestors and guidance. And I do it through, well, this is how I'm doing it versus how I know everyone else is reacting. And these are where my emotional states are versus where everyone else. So when I do explain this, I do just like to show, like, this is how I live. It's not like everyone else. When you're already in 5D consciousness, it's just another world. And I just want to go, hey, this is what I'm doing. Okay. This is how it is when you're not being yanked and pulled all over the place. So I just wanted to get that back down. When I do, and so when I talk to people, it's just so dang obvious to live in two parallel worlds. Like, we're in the same world, but it's parallel. It's not the same world. We're in the same world. We're on the same planet. We're in the same plane of existence. But your world looks nothing like my world. My energy, my certainty, my faith, my trust, my ability to tap into spirit, to assist me and collapse the spiritual life into my real life, thus I am unbothered, is not the same as if you're still in the 3D and you haven't realized you're a spiritual being. Realizing you're a spiritual being means realizing you have all access to all that higher knowledge, all that higher wisdom, and you just need to take the time to tap into it and learn how to use it so you no longer have to be fearful. Right. No, that's what you said. You ain't 5D if you're reacting to the election. Right. So I wanted to say how 5D consciousness is reacting towards 3D. So, you know, I'm just going to tell you right now, my reaction was, okay, Trump or Biden. Now, I did a whole video on the election. Someone wrote 5D knows it's all a lie and scripted fake Jew BS. Oh, you went there, huh? Well, there are some dark forces. They are controlling the top billionaires, and those billionaires, they control their other minions. They do dark secret society stuff, secret societies, skull and crossbones, the Illuminati. They're all very real. We weren't supposed to know about one of them. And they do have an agenda for total control because we're going through ascension and they can't make it. They're trying to take as many of us as possible in the spiritual warfare so they have more slaves, right? More people they can control, more people that work for them. I'm free. You don't get me, okay? You can take them other folks who haven't decided to wake up. I did a whole letter to people still stuck in the 3D when we ascend, right? So I don't know about the Jew part. I think Chris Rock said it. I mean, you're all white to me. I don't I mean, I don't want to divvy it up, but I don't know. It ain't us doing it, all right? It ain't us. We're not, you know, we're not part of that cabal, all right? That's very high level, very elite, and we're the ones they try to keep on the bottom because we are the ones who can actually, if we owned our power, being a melanated being, if we owned our power, they would no longer be in charge. But they've done a very good job of psychological spiritual warfare where they got people thinking magic's not real. So let me talk about 3D consciousness versus 5D consciousness reaction to the election. I'm going to tell you my reaction. I'm 5D all day. Now, I can get taken off of it. Someone can piss me off, and I'll go there for a second, but it won't be as far as it used to be. You ain't going to get me to sink super low. I mean, I'll go a little bit, but there's a point where I'm like, I'm not giving you any more energy. I'm just not. You're not going to get it. You're not worth it. I don't know you. Even if I do know you, I'm still not doing it because it takes too much to get my energy back up high, right? So I'm not even going to be pulled that far, even if you're acting really ratchet. Honestly, if you are, I would just call my angels down to circle you in some white light, give you some love, and chill it F out. I'd be like, angels, handle that. Ancestors, cover me, all right? We're out, you know, and I would exit gracefully. So you're not pulling me that far. But what the thing is, when you're in 5D, you have the skills you have the tool set to be able to come back from it, right? You have this skill set to know, oh, she really took me out and I wanted to cuss them out. But you know I'm not. That's not what I'm here for. That's not going to help. We're ascending right now. They don't need it and I don't need it. And so with that being said, I'm not, I woke up and, when you election night, Trump, Biden, now I have my thoughts of who I want to lead. I know all this lockdown stuff is part of that dark forces, that spiritual warfare, because they're going for full control and they're using this virus as the means to do it. So I was given a very clear direction of like, you have a choice, more control, more lockdown measures, not. It basically was coming down to that. Now they didn't say, I was like, all right, so should I manifest something? Because, when I manifest, because of my frequency, if it's for myself, it's quickly. For the rest of the world, it's not going to just take over because there's if I do set my intention towards one or the other doing it, I know it'll help. I know how powerful my FM signal is that I send out into the world. I know how I transmit. I know that it's strong and it stands and it doesn't attenuate. You got to remember, I do magic, but I also am an electrical engineer and I know how electromagnetics, transmission lines, and waves work. I know how strong my broadcast is and how it can bounce off and how strong it is to withstand all of the natural things that can deflect it or attenuate it, which makes the signal smaller and whatnot. So, but they were like, nah, don't do all that because Trump wins, it's okay. Biden wins, it's okay. Now, at first, I sort of was having my leanings. So I'm like, I don't want any more lockdowns. We don't need to be even more restricted. But you know what? I was like, but even if we are, I'm going to be okay. So I had to get off the radio. I got off the TV. I was looking at live election results. I was looking at Facebook. My energy levels and frequency was going down because it's a cesspool. If you guys didn't know, you need to watch your energy. It's going down. It's going down. And there was a point where I was just like, let me get off this. I don't need a low vibration. Biden wins and things go down the way I think they're going down, how I've been led and guided to. And my ancestors and my angels have not steered me wrong one time in 4 years. I will still be okay. They will let me know. So if they're doing these things where it's like vaccines are mandatory, I'm not taking that vaccine. They told me very clearly not to take it. Y'all better not take it. If you do, that's your choice. But I know if I need to get something and I can't because I don't have it, they'll be like, well, go to this store here. It's like they'll tell me, or I'll just be guided to this store here to get exactly what I want. No problem. Graceful. I'm getting around it because they're going to align me to the people who are helping me where it's not required, or I don't have to do these extra measures that they're trying to control you with, and I will be okay. Right? I've seen them do this before, right? They'll find the person who's connected as well. And if the other people win and they're just opening up the economy, it's not about control and locking down and forcing people to do what someone else wants them to do, the ascension is going to happen regardless. So 5D consciousness is like, yeah, you'll get pulled down a little bit, but at the end of the day, you can see both perspectives and you can see it from a higher level. So for me, when I look at a Biden, very strong rate of racism. I see they're going out the street and being loud enough and they're fighting for their right. I'm like, that's their judgment to have to fight because they didn't take care of that racism they needed. So I can honestly see a higher level of perspective and karma and judgment from that. I see if Biden, so if Biden wins and the Trump supporters are out in the street acting crazy, fighting for their rights, I can see that as judgment. So even then, I'm like, on a higher perspective, maybe that is the higher power's way of going, well, they need to learn as well. And this is their karma for not removing all of the racism that their ancestors have carried down into their blood and not doing the work to remove it. I can see how if the other guy wins T and he wins, I can see from a higher perspective how he's already dismantling all these old systems that's not going into the age of Aquarius with us. I already see it. So he's just going to continue the dismantling. So regardless, it's going to work out. Judgment's going to come. Karma is going to be here. Higher perspective and level. To be quite honest, the God that I know and developed a relationship with, he has something up his sleeve. So if these dark forces thinking they're going to win, he's going to pull something out. He always does. So that 5D consciousness is just like, okay, you get pulled down a little, but you come back. You start thinking about all the other factors. You think about karma. You think about spirituality. You think about God is playing a role. You think about what the end goal is. You think about how, when you need to maneuver around something, how they're already assisting you and helping you. And all of a sudden, in that 5D consciousness, you're like, you know what? It's going to be okay regardless. Let me not think and get too stressed about the future. Let me just stay in the present. When it comes, I'll ask my higher guidance and sources if I come into any obstacles, what I need to do. But I know they'll connect me to the right people. I know I don't need to get that vaccine to live. I know they have prepared me and told me to get 6 months food and water. They already told me that. I already got it. So I can hang out in my house for a good while without needing to go anywhere to buy anything, right? So that's 5D consciousness. You've already been given the clues. You've already been given the heads up. But even if you haven't, before you get pulled down, you realize at the end of the day, there's higher spiritual lessons that are going to go on. If either one wins, there's higher spiritual lessons and plans in place. And it's very complicated. I do not play chess, but like, whoa, when you're at this level, you could really see like on that God level that there's layers to this. And like sometimes you think it's the end, but this is like your test to see if you're truly faithful and if you're truly choosing to choose and believe in God. And it's so funny, you know, so 3D consciousness, you already know what 3D consciousness is. You already know what it is. 3D consciousness is like, no, if Trump gets elected, I'm gonna die. No, you're not. Okay, there are factors going in. FYI, I asked my angels and ancestors, why are all these black people dying from this pandemic? And know what the answer I got? They actually chose to leave willingly because the people left behind will have a faster growth and transformation to do what they need to do to cause the ascension of the planet. And they're also going to be right on the other side of the veil, assisting those people to make sure they make it through the ascension process. So you're thinking of death as a sad thing, and it is very sad. Those are human emotions. But it's also a part of the process where they can help you on the bigger picture, which is your eternity, your awakening, you not being stuck with the dark forces, you not being stuck when the 3D and the 5D split, you not being stuck in the hell level 1, all right? You're like, with the 5D, that is more important than this 3D life, because this is all your soul sleeping. No, they're not sleep, but your spiritual salvation, you getting out, is bigger than that, because there's a lot of lost souls here who cannot get out. They either don't have a high enough frequency, they don't have a high enough melanin to give them the high frequency, because we have light crystals in our skin, which is probably why we do so well with crystals as a whole. So there's so many reasons why people are stuck down here, and they're like, no, it's more important that you ascend and you wake up. And us dying is hard, but it does cause transformation and growth at a faster rate when it does happen in the family. You start to look at things differently. You start to value things differently. You just go through that emotional, spiritual transformation. And me working with my ancestors, I know that they're literally on the other side, assisting and guiding you for you to get the awakening so that you come on and you don't get lost down here in this matrix. Because right now, the spiritual warfare is trying to lose you in this matrix. So 3D consciousness, you feel your life depends on the government. 5D, you're like, I have exited the government having any control. Like, of course they have some, but you make it very little. Honestly, but even then, so I had an IRS bill because I didn't do my partnership tax return, and it's like $2,400. I swear I got it. I was like, what? Shoot, I thought we had an extension this year for 2020. They're like, no, it's March 4th, tapped into spirit. Anything can happen. I called them up. It's a $2,400 bill. I did not feel like paying because I did my partnership late because I thought they all had an extension. They're like, you can't do it. And I was like, all right, spirit guides and ancestors, show me how I can get this done and over with. Guess what happened? Literally. They're like, I can't do it here. But, you know, in 2017, you paid over, but we can actually get that waived because you can get one waived. Even though it's in the past, we can do it. They waived it. It was just some random stuff, but I ended up getting $700 more. That 3 years of like good behavior, and it. And I was like, you know, that was my ancestors going, hey, whisper in his ear that he can do this, so this can happen for her. So 5D consciousness is just relying on spirit to, like, you know, help me out, you know, and them doing it. It just is what it is. So when you get all, so I don't know, well, I do know. Try to get 5D. Try to get where you don't feel your life depends on this 3D matrix, where your life does not depend on Biden or Trump. Your world does not depend on Biden and Trump. Your kids don't depend on Biden and Trump. Because these are just organizations meant to control you and give you the bare minimum. You know, like, feel like you deserve more than the bare minimum and that you don't need them. All right? Just feel that you deserve so much more than what they're willing to give you, which is basically as little as possible. So everything going, and I've seen some spiritual leaders who are getting caught up and all anxious. And I was like, 4D girl, what you anxious for? Right? So you get to 5D, it's not just an event. You can understand that there's infinite possibilities. So you can also see a higher perspective where regardless of what goes on, good or bad, it can be flipped this way or that way, and it still will be positive for everyone. You know what I mean? So that's a higher perspective. You don't get so caught up in, oh, this happened, this is wrong. The higher perspective is like, well, I can see this happening on the positive. I can see this happening on the negative at a higher level, at a karmic level, at a spiritual, at a transformative level, at a advancement level. I can see how this can be positive for the collective to see. I can see how this exposes the truth, which gets us closer to ascension. When you start getting to 5D, like, there is no total nothing. Like, nothing is total. Like, everything has this very, very big way of it's still going to serve a higher spiritual purpose regardless. So I just wanted to say that about that. And I've seen some other spiritualists, but yeah, you know, if you're a spiritualist and you got caught up, you need to go from 4D to 5D too. We need you strong. You're definitely not 3D because you know the spirit world exists and you're actively doing the research and the work to find out about your spirit and who you truly are. So I would actually say when your vibration's going low, take some time off and, like, you know what's more important? You finding out who you truly are. You know, I stand very strongly in who I am at the spirit level. My soul is a warrior soul. My soul is a magician soul. My soul is a teacher soul. If you go to my YouTube videos, I have videos of, like, you know, what's your archetype, right? Are you a warrior? Are you a priest? Are you a king or queen? What are your soul gifts? You know, mine is truth and power, right? So I'm really good at truth and I'm really good at power, which is manifestation, right? Like, I stand in those truths. Let me tell you something. That has helped me more than any president, because when I stand in that, I do things aligned with it, and I'm good at those things, and source keeps, you get rewarded for finding your truth in this life. As a spiritual being having an earthly experience, you get rewarded for aligning yourself to your spiritual world, because we're spiritual beings having an earthly existence, and we're meant to find out the truth of who we are. When you align yourself to that, not only will you be super confident in those things, but you will be blessed with abundance upon abundance upon abundance, because you're passing Earth school. And the good thing is you don't have to graduate anytime soon. So I'm going to go the next 60 years in abundance and abundance and abundance, and aligning to the magician, teacher, warrior, right? Divine truth, divine power, all of those things. The more, like, you spend more time doing that, you realize you don't need them, because you get blessed every single day for stepping and aligning and putting actions to your truth and who you are. So it's so important to do that spiritual work and find out, and it'll be obvious as heck who it is. I have 2 books on my site, so go to my YouTube channel and just check out those books on, like, what's your archetype and what your gifts are. Just those things alone, you can start aligning yourself and start doubling down on your soul's truth and start getting blessed because of it. Because every time you align yourself with your soul's truth that you did the work to find out about, every time you do that, it's sort of like you get to pull the wheel down for free, and there's always a winner. Every time you do it, you're like, cha-ching. Every time you do it, cha-ching. And you can even go into astrology and numerology, but every time you align with your soul's truth, doing that, versus being so invested in the Biden-Trump thing, is going to bless you way more than anything. So I'm going to get off with that. 3D consciousness, just, it doesn't matter who's going to go. It's still your learning lesson to find out who you truly are, embody that, and learn, even in the worst situations, how you can stay blessed, right? So even if they try to go full control, learn how you can stay blessed, right? You know, you can choose to be whatever you want, right? And so I'm going to end with that. Hope you enjoyed this and it gave you some perspective on when you truly get to that point where you truly understand the spiritual aspect and you truly understand that elevation and consciousness. It'll get you a little bit, but you don't stay stuck in that because you know already. You've worked for it. You know who you are. You know your truth. You know how powerful you are. And that is where you're going to be firmly stand, supported and guided, especially if you follow my way, by your spirit guides and guardian angels and ancestors and spirits, right? Because I roll 50 feet. Literally, I'm not even joking. I'm like, so many angels. I mean, I established this relationship with them, but like so many light beings who are like here for Lisa and I'm here for them. Right now I'm doing so many offerings. I actually channeled, so right now I'm channeling all the, like the dragons, the angels. What do you want? The angels like flowers and water. And I was like, hey, you know, you're like, why can't you just come down here and just like take it? And they actually told me that it requires too much energy to do that. But when you freely give them of the essence, they're not here on earth, but they get to like experience that, right? So right now they just get to watch. But, you know, earth being 3D, we get to have these experiences that they don't have, right? Like being physical means we get to feel and touch and smell and enjoy, you know, all of this when they're staying up there just watching. And so it takes too much energy for them to like get water or to you know, get that incense smell. And so I thought that was really cool because, you know, it's so funny. I was asking all the different guides what they wanted, and it was all slightly different things, you know, like High John the Conqueror wanted to, when I asked how much incense he'd like, he wanted galaxy. And then the energy and consciousness of the bay leaf, which is it vibrates higher than I do, okay? They said they wanted stars because I have things called stars. Then Oshun, she wanted watermelon. And the angels wanted flowers and they wanted water, like a water offering. Crystals wanted water offering and yeah, and the dragon guides, they wanted dragon's blood and cinnamon and crystals. So it's very, and I'm just like, right now, they've helped me so much. Like, I'm always sitting here saying I'm a magician, but it's me and my frequency, but it's also them. I co-create with different consciousness, right? Like, it's co-creation, which is how it should be. We're all one. And so right now I'm just on this really big, like, thank you tour. Like, I never, you know, whenever I call them in, and I'm doing a class on channeling, and I'm going to tell you a keynote on that. So how to channel, I'm doing it next Friday if you want to sign up. When I channel and I meet new guides, I always set the intention that only beings of the highest good, deepest compassion, and highest integrity only. You can't. Can you hold on one second, baby? So highest integrity only. What that means is that you can have someone on the street and one person will help you, but only if you help them. But someone of high integrity will help you just to help you because they know that, like, in helping you, we help everyone, right? So when you make it high integrity, I don't necessarily get guides who need me to do something for them first in order to help. I generally get guides of highest integrity who are here just to help me because they're like, you asked for help, we want to help you because when you're empowered, you help empower others, right? They've said that when you're empowered, when you are empowered, you help make the impact on others, and that helps the planet ascend. Right? They know my purpose. They know what I'm here to do. And so they step forward. They usually aren't like, but give me something first or else I'll do something bad. Now, there are spirits of lower integrity where you have to do something for them or else they'll get upset with you. So what I'm saying is, like, when I channel the way that I learned it and that I like, it's only the highest being of highest integrity who can freely give and help and want to freely give and help, regardless if they're dragons or angels or fairies. And so I'm doing this gratitude tour now. I didn't do it necessarily before. Like, I say thank you all the time. I'll sit in meditation and say thank you. But I'm just doing it now because I feel called to. But it's not something, if you call it that way, you don't have to necessarily do it at the very beginning. And no, they won't get mad if you don't. But it's always super, super, super nice to them. But she wanted this watermelon one, and I hadn't even opened the packet. So she was like, watermelon. I opened that watermelon incense. It was so good. I was like, this smells so great. Oh, poor girl. Let me just do a prayer for this girl stuck on the side of the road. Change her life, little piece around my love might help get her the help that she needs as soon as possible. All right, because you can bless people, especially if you have a strong frequency. So do. So Yeah, so it's just so funny. So join the channeling class if you can. Now I am doing a magic class, how magic works, because I interact with things on an energetic conscious level, meaning I can, you okay, boo-boo? You okay, boo-boo? All right. Conscious level, and I'm doing that, but I actually think I made the price too low because I'm almost at the point where it's like, I don't know if I want everyone having this knowledge, especially if you're not of the highest integrity or you haven't done the work. So you can check it out, but if you don't get it now, the price is going to raise. I'm going to do it tomorrow. So, okay. I got a little anxious 4-year-old. I got to go. 3D versus 5D consciousness. We talked about offering things to your different spirit guides and just ask them. If you get like a random thought in your head, instead of doubting it, just go with it. And I'm going to go. Okay, hold on, baby. All right, thank you. Bye. It's broken.